Well, what has it been like that you're on BMF, but you're also on Diarra from Detroit, and they're airing at the exact same time?
I'm gonna say it's my fault because I prayed about it. I was like, man, that'd be dope if I could be like at two shows at the same time, and then people could be like, wait, is that the same guy?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I prayed about it and it happened. So it was great because they weren't supposed to air it at the same time. I think DR from Detroit was supposed to happen first, and then BMF, and with the strike and all that stuff, and it just worked out that way.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was awesome. It was cool, and it was so two different characters, which that's what I really wanted. I really wanted people to be like, man, there's no way that's Glock. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and also when you see that, you're like, what? There's no way that's Roman. So,
Yeah, Glock wouldn't take Roman seriously at all.
oh, Roman would probably died.
Uh, Speaking of
Roman.
Roman, he's like, I won't say that he's soft spoken, but he is a bit more chill than Glock and even his wife. How do you think Roman feels about Mo talking to Diarra? Because to me, he doesn't seem like the biggest fan of this friendship.
No, because I mean, her nickname used to be Crazy Moni.
Hmm.
So she used to be wild, like wild. So we had to like tone it down when we got married, we got kids. It was just like, okay, cool, we're doing this life, and we were doing great. I got my shop. I'm trying to, we're just trying to do the good American. I even say it in one episode where I was like, we're trying to be the stand up, we're trying to be the Huxtables out here. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like we're trying to be that staple of a relationship. And so when DR comes back and I see her going back to her old habits, I'm kind of like, this ain't a good look, and especially with what's happening um with me owing money. So it's kind of like, I don't need more trouble than I already have. I'm already dealing with something that's extremely serious, and then you starting acting up, thinking that you Watson from Sherlock.
Is it also that they seem to be each other's best friends? Do you think he becomes more involved because he's a bit jealous of the friendship and her kind of pulling away in a bit?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of jealousy as well too, and yeah, and that was one of the main things that me and Claudia, incredible actress, we talked about, which was, we wanted to make sure that the relationship felt really real and fun, and you want to pull for that relationship. So anything that takes away from that, because I didn't want it to just be this like, oh yeah, we're in a relationship, but it's not. I was like, it needs to feel like, oh man, these guys are actually in love, and this could potentially ruin it. So you want to root for them, even though sometimes Roman come out of pocket and say certain things. You're like, ooh, all right, Roman, like, come on. But you could tell he really, really they love each other a whole lot, and they want to. Yeah, so anything that distracts that or take away from that, I'm definitely going to be jealous of it, and I don't want it to ruin our relationship.
Yeah. Do you feel like Moni is kind of pursuing this for the reward money so he can pay back the Woodward boys, but also to kind of have something for herself? Like, you have the shop, and there's nothing wrong with being a bus driver, but she's not as invested in it as you are invested in the shop.
Yeah, and she feels, she's tapping into a potential side of her that didn't know exist as well too. Like she's crazy Moni, she's wild and all stuff, but then she's finding out that she got some really dope skills and also rekindle her friendship. You're absolutely right. She wants something that's her own, and this is so unique, and it's like, what? I might be a PI agent. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? That might be a real thing. And she hates the fact that, well, I don't want to speak for her, but I would think that she would hate the fact of somebody not taking her seriously when
Mhm.
deciding to try to venture off to something else. And just like you said, nothing wrong with being a bus driver, and our lives are great, but you could tell that she has more to offer and she wants to do more, So yeah, it's kind of dope to see. It's really dope to see.
Yeah. What was it like to do the shootout in the house, which is very different than Battle of Teakwood, but still very intense.
Man, that was fun, man. That episode, man, it's like one of those, as an actor, when you have a bottle episode and you have so many characters, so many personalities, it's either a great experience or not a great experience. This was probably one of the most perfect bottle experience I've ever had. Everybody was like, I think that episode really brought us together in such a great way that we all, are still friends and we still talk and all that stuff. And it just bonded us so much, because we all wanted this to win. We all wanted this to just shine so much. Everything was so great, man. And America, that's her name, and the director. She did such a wonderful job creating an environment that allow us to play and she was so like specific and just such a beautiful vision. So we had so much fun shooting that. I had a blast. I had a blast. It wasn't as scary or like startle as BMF, but it was dope. It was a dope experience. It was really
Yeah.
dope.
We
Yeah.
see Roman kill Velvet with this crystal, and like to me, the look on his face says a lot. What do you think he's thinking in that moment? Because I have my thoughts, but
I mean, the goal was to show here's a guy that wants a regular life, and I think we don't show that enough with violence. When someone goes to that extreme of something that you've never done before, it paralyzes you. It changes you. It changes you forever. Like I always find it funny when they got people that are regular and kill somebody, and then they just walk the next day like everything is fine, and it's like you kill the person, and I really wanted because he's so detached from that. I think the highest anxiety is owning that money. Like
yeah,
yeah, there's violence and all that stuff. He's seen stuff, but he's never been a person that's ever you know done violence like that.
yeah,
So to actually kill somebody, like he's mortified. I feel like he feels like a piece of his soul just died,
yeah,
so he's just terrified and don't know what's gonna happen. And it's not even about, oh, am I gonna go to jail or anything like that. Like he feels like his soul just died. Like it's even worse. Like jail ain't nothing compared to the fear that he has as a man, going like, man, I've done something that is beyond coming back. Like there's no coming back from this. I killed a soul. So I really want to infuse that in it because I feel like sometimes we gloss over it and we just like, oh, it killed a person and that's it. And I'm like, no. Not hopefully. I'm gonna say it when we do season 2 because I'm gonna speak it into existence. The goal is to explore that more and the mental health of that and what that happens to him with that. And I'm super excited to explore that aspect of it of someone that goes through the emotional and mental hardship when he does something that he didn't want to do.
yeah. Is that also why he tells Diarra like, "Don't tell her," as in
Oh
like,
yeah.
tell Moni what he did because he's afraid how she would look at him differently, maybe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is so far away from his character that it's like, no, he wants to hide it. He wants to make sure that, especially his wife, not, but eventually, just like anything else, it'll come out in other ways, and that's why I can't wait to explore that. I can't wait to explore like moments where he's either drugged up from all of this or lash out and trying to fight back to becoming the man that he was and also accepting the man that he is now. You know.
Yes. What was it like to read that in the script? Because it seemed to me that Roman was a character in this world, but like Diarra's other friends, he wasn't going to be actively involved. And then he takes kind of the most major role by killing Velvet with a crystal. Like when you read that, were you like, what? I didn't sign up
Yeah.
for this. I'm cool, I did, but like, what?
Yeah, no, yeah, man. I was just as shocked. I was just as shocked, like, whoa, okay. all right, I was like, I was very comfortable with just Roman owning some money, got his little shop, and don't get me involved in all this drama. But and that's what makes this show so incredible, man. The twists and turns, and make you want to watch more. As much as I love being in it, I love watching it as well too. So it was such a beautiful plot twist for as a reader. I was like, wow, this is so dope. Who does that? Because
Uh-huh.
it's like it's so and it's not because there's so much TV. We pretty much know what's gonna happen when the bad guys, but it's so cool to see a fresh look of things, especially a mystery comedy where they keep you on the edge of your seat and could still surprise you because there's so much out there in the world that doesn't surprise you anymore. So it's always great to be surprised.
Yes, yes, yes. And do you think Diarra and Chris, Ambien, or whatever actually have something real, or is it kind of these adrenaline rushes that Diarra is actually really into?
I think a rude awakening is about to happen. I feel like, what I'm saying? It's like I feel like it's almost like a catfish situation. Like it looks great, until you meet the person on the internet. You're like, oh wow, the person's all great and everything. And then once you start going into details about the person's life and their background, and you're like starting noticing certain things like what. But I'm intrigued again. I'm like, who knows? Maybe he is that dream guy that she's been dreaming up in her head and from the first date. But there's so many questions. There's so many things. So it's super exciting to see what's gonna happen with that. And also, I'm kind of rooting for SWAT too, because Roman and SWAT kind of like connected.
No, Swa. I'm rooting for
Ah man,
danger. I'm
why?
danger.
Oh man, the man was married. He was trying to do it right. He had a suggestion. That's all he did.
And he did a vasectomy. Like, he is so messy. Like, no, I'm not on Team Swa.
Man, what? He's just, like he's trying to figure it out. But I love that they did have real love. It's not it's unfortunate a lot of things happen to ruin that, but I always love seeing people fight for their marriage no matter what. uh that's why I'm like rooting for it. I love when people, it's like when it seems like it's, oh, there's no way he's gonna come back, but some of the best marriages is when they get over certain things like that, when they fight for when infidelity, you name it, and they'll be able to come back. That love comes back so much stronger, because now you're like, man, if we could get over this thing, we could get over everything. So that's part of it, of why I'm like, yeah, man, I want this brother to at least show the fight even harder, like you
I
know
I agree on that, and I would love more Morris Chestnut. And like, it would be weird if he just kind of walked away from all of this,
yeah.
and especially because her cousin's the best friend. Like, it wouldn't make sense if he wasn't there. But I feel like they were in love to me in the reality that they both played into.
Hmm.
Like, I won't say she's at fault, but they created this reality of being kind of like the upper echelon, and they were very much in love. And of course, we haven't seen
Yeah.
backstories about how they got together and whatnot, but um I think he didn't want to hurt her, and this is why he didn't mention the vasectomy. But it's just like, you guys have to communicate, because throwing the that was not like thing. But I don't think he was trying to be malicious or he wanted to see other people. I
Yeah.
think, as she says in the show, it was a diversion to stall, other than saying, hey, the vasectomy, even though kind of gaslighting her to think there's something wrong with her fertility. They have a
Yeah.
lot to at least talk
Yeah.
about, even if they don't get back together, but just to have peace in what was a
Absolutely.
marriage.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the kind of stuff, just like anything else, any relationship, when you start finding out a little bit more about your spouse or your partner, and it's like, all right, am I willing to fight for that? Am I willing to try to figure out how to fix this? Because, he could always reverse
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much you could do. It's not something that's forever, which is always great. And Danger, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like, season two, me and Danger might have some words. I did kill his, mama figure.
I think he's not going to be angry about. I don't think he's happy about it. I think he will have feelings about it, but I think in my head, Danger is going to help Roman come to terms with his actions, but hopefully not lead him astray. And then all of a sudden, Roman's a Woodward boy. Yeah.
Exactly. I think I'm gonna ask for his therapist. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna be like, look, man, I'm sorry I killed you, that whatever she was for you, but do you have your therapist number?
Yes.
Call
Yes.
her, figure out certain things. But either we're gonna be friends or either I don't know, because the writers are so good, they're always gonna surprise you. So either we're gonna be real great friends or we're not, or we're gonna be friends and then find out somebody backstab each other. I don't know. Like, you never
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
I'm excited to interact with him a little bit more.
For sure. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I'm glad we
Oh
figured this out. And
yeah.
I would love to stay in touch for future projects as well and talk to you
Oh
about
yeah.
those.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So I will post both of these when the appropriate time, and I will also see you on social media and hopefully one day in person.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. You have a
Okay.
great one. Thank
You
you.
too. Bye.
Bye.